Welcome in, boys and girls. Jim here once again, and today we're going to take a look at what has become the most controversial knife in the market today, the Microtech Mini Jagdkommando. Now, before we get too far into things, let's not forget what has made this knife so damn controversial. Let's address a few of these stupid-ass things before we actually get into the knife at all. Firstly, no, it does not take a team of surgeons to close up the wound. As a matter of fact, I can't find any record of anybody ever actually being attacked with one of these knives. Now, you can fact check me on that. Maybe it's happened and I just haven't seen it, but I've looked and I don't see anything about it. Now, while it doesn't take a team of surgeons to close the wound, it is going to be a pretty vicious wound if you actually did use it in self-defense. I mean, you've got three blades, triangular blade basically, that's twisting as it's being thrust in, and so you've got three openings that you have to try to close. It's not going to be easy to suture, but it's not going to be impossible either. Folks, somebody just is going in for a head transplant somewhere in the world. That's happening. If somebody can transplant a human head, I'm sure they can close the wound from a three-sided blade. There are heart transplants. There are major organs being transplanted. There are people that have had their penises cut off and reattached and then gone to do porn movies. Medical science is amazing. It's much more amazing than the sciences involved in making a knife. Now, what's the real story behind the Jagdkommando? And as you see here, my Mini Jagdkommando. Well, the whole story is this. It wasn't meant to be a serious knife, period. A lot of people look at the knife and go, oh my God, it's so stupid, it's so impractical. What asshattery is this? What moron would buy this? Who would pay money for that? We buy a lot of impractical things just because we like them. It doesn't always have to serve a practical purpose. People believe that Tony Marfione created this knife in order to be the most badass tactical knife in the world, and that serious operators were going to carry this and they were going to go into battle. And no, that's not why it was designed. So you can stop talking about, oh man, it's really stupid because you've got a sheath that you got to twist it into. What are you going to do? Tell the bad guy, wait, let me untwist my knife to put... That's not what it was designed for. And if you're using a knife as your primary source of self-defense, you probably aren't very intelligent to begin with. Now, why was it designed? Very simple. To be cool. To have a cool collectible trinket. That's really it. You've got two sizes of the Jagdkommando. You have the full size, which is 12 3/4 inches overall with a blade length of over 7 inches. This one is the Mini. This is 7 inches overall, so its overall size is actually shorter than just the blade length of the full size. And the blade length on this is only 4 inches. So this I actually use as a neck knife. It's fun. It's a cool thing to have. It's no more impractical than, you know what? Another Microtech product, the Siphon 2 pen. It's a pen that you have to open up a lever in order to open. And if your thumbnail is anywhere in the way of that thing closing, trust me, you're going to be cursing. Yeah, it's like a fucking mousetrap. This is as impractical as it comes. Why do I have it? Because it's cool. And it matches my other Stormtrooper shit. And all my other Star Wars shit that I'm not going to bother bringing out here. It's meant to be cool. It's meant to be fun. But yeah, if it needs to be used, it can actually be used. So there you go. From the same company. I talked to Tony about this because I really wanted to demystify this knife. I ordered one for myself as a neck knife for a cool collector's thing that if for some odd reason I ever had to use it, I probably wouldn't. You know, you got to get through a lot of shit before I'm ever going to break out my neck knife. But it's cool, and it's a conversation piece. When I meet up with other knife guys, and we're hanging out, and, you know, we're each going to bring a couple of cool knives to show each other that maybe we haven't handled, this is always one that's wrapped around my neck, because most people haven't actually seen one or handled one in person. And you know what? It is pretty damn cool. And the way that it was made is pretty damn cool. So back to the story. When I got mine, I wanted to have it customized a little bit because, again, this is a collector's bauble. It is not a serious combat weapon. So I had this phrase laser engraved from PVK Vegas when I ordered it from them. And if you do know what that phrase is from, then you get a gold star for the day. And I thought it worked out really well with the theme of the knife. So when I ordered it, I said, okay, I'm getting it for me because it's fun and it's cool. And I don't know how long until the novelty wears off, but I'm going to make a video about it. So I called up Tony. I said, Tony, give me the whole rundown on this knife because the internet has taken it and run with it. And they're calling it the most deadly knife that's ever been made. And it takes a team of surgeons to suture the wound. And if you're hit with that thing, you're probably going to die. There is no hope for you in the real world. I said, I don't believe a damn bit of that. It all seems like a bunch of hype. And it doesn't seem like hype that came from you or from anyone at Microtech. He says, no, absolutely not. It was designed not to be a tactical weapon, but it was designed to be an accessory. Not only was it designed to be an accessory, and I'll explain that in a second, but it was designed to be an exercise in what their machines were capable of doing with an intricate design. So at the time when these were initially made, and that was in the full size, Tony was marketing a line of guns. He had the MSAR, which was the rifle, which was the bullpup rifle, which was one of many rifles now at this point that were modeled after the Steyr AUG. And he was also in the midst of launching a new pistol. And what he wanted to do was package all of his firearms that he was manufacturing. He wanted to package them in a special way, so you got a tactical box and everything that it came in, but he wanted accessories to go with them. And, well, hey, I own a knife company. Let's put a really badass knife in there. Not really expecting anybody to actually use it, but it really went well with the design of the gun that he was putting this in with. Because remember, the Jagdkommando is not just a name. And by the way, that is the way it's pronounced. It's Jagdkommando, not Jagdkommando. It's named after the Austrian Special Forces paramilitary, that kind of like our U.S. Airborne. So, I mean, these are guys that jump out of helicopters and planes and do all kinds of crazy shit, anti-terrorism stuff and all that kind of thing. So, obviously being Austrian, and they were, I believe they were being issued at some point, the Steyr AUG. It really fit well. So, he designed a knife that would be normally impossible to make. Why does it have a cylindrical sheath? Because it has a round bar stock for the steel. And you've got 3 edges instead of 1 or maybe 2. The only reason this was made was to show the proficiency and the accuracy of the CNC machines that he had. And I don't recall if at the time when he first came out with these, if it was a 3-axis or a 5-axis machine. He told me, but I don't remember. I apologize. But it was either 3-axis or 5-axis machine, which at the time was relatively new, especially in the world of knife making. So to be able to do this, I don't know if there is any reasonable way to do this in a handmade knife. I really don't see how you could possibly do it. Maybe there's a way that you could twist it. I don't know if there's a way that you could actually grind it. By the time you've ground it and then you go to twist it, you're heating it up so much, you're burning through the temper, because you really would have had to put a final edge on there before you twisted it. And at that point, you can't apply that degree of heat. I mean, I just don't know if there's a real practical way that you could ever make this by hand. Now, you give somebody the right kind of person, the right kind of incentive to do it, and I'm very certain that it can be done. I see a lot of knives out there that I just go, holy shit, how the hell did they achieve that? So, yeah, I'm not saying everything is completely impossible. It's just very, very impractical. And at the end of the day, you'd be doing it for nothing more than a trophy. Because that's what this is going to be. It's going to be sitting in a display case. So it wasn't designed to be a true functioning knife. It was never designed to be a true functioning weapon. It was designed to be something cool, to accessorize a bullpup, tactical, or combat rifle. That's it. That's what it was made for. It was nothing more than if, what's big right now? Like you buy a SIG Legion, and when you buy the gun, and I have one, and I love it. I think it's an absolutely amazing gun. I've got the 229. When you buy it, you can send off to SIG to get this little kit for free. So you get a nice box, you get an extra magazine, and there's a little challenge coin. The challenge coin doesn't do anything. It's not meant to do anything. It's just a cool added accessory that goes in the overall packaging of that gun. And that's what this is. This is your challenge coin that you can throw into the sheath and throw around your neck and carry it with you. And actually, I know there's a lot more threads to the full size, but with this one, it actually comes out, ow, mother, yeah, son of a bitch. Anyway, it actually comes out with a very quick twist. It's not difficult at all. So if you're carrying this around the neck, that's all it really takes. So yeah, the full size I'm sure would be a lot more impractical to try to, quick draw or whatever it is that you're attempting to do with it. So what's the construction? All right, so you're looking at stainless steel for the blade. They do alternate between different steels, whatever's available at the time. Most of them are going to be 440C stainless steel. You can call it a tri-blade dagger. That would probably be the best description. And your sheath, a lot of people have said it's made of titanium. It's not. It's actually made of aluminum. So very, very lightweight, but very, very tough. Now, there are different variations you can get into. In the Mini Jagdkommando, they start at 425. Good luck finding one. They go through cycles of when they make them, and as soon as they're shipped, they sell out. They're popular. And they can go up considerably more when you get into the all titanium version. The whole thing would be titanium, and then they do a flame treatment on it, so it looks really, really cool. You get into the full size, and that's where you're getting into money. The full size is $900, and it goes up. I've seen them go as high as $1,500, $1,600. And again, there's a full titanium version of that one as well. So yeah, they're expensive. This is for a collector. This isn't to satisfy a specific need. Now, the other thing that people have said is, and the thing is, they always speak with authority. This is why it was designed. This is what it was designed after, man. This is what happens in Facebook knife groups. The other claim is the people that speak with authority like to tell you that this was designed after a style of bayonet. Now, while it's true, there was a triple-bladed bayonet. This was not designed after that. People say that this is the most dangerous knife in the world and it's illegal everywhere because of the Geneva Convention. That is absolutely not true. This knife was never banned by the Geneva Convention. However, there are rules in place for, I guess, weapons that could be considered more for torture than for, disposing of the enemy at the time. And the three-sided, or three-bladed, if you will, triple-edged bayonet was actually put on that list. That the armies could not use them because it was some sort of, some kind of torture or however they word it. But that doesn't apply to this. This would be illegal in any state where you're restricted from having more than one edge on your knife. Like here in Texas, up until September of 2017, we had very lax knife laws, but one of the laws was you couldn't have anything with more than one edge. So you couldn't have a double-edged knife, dagger, dirk, whatever you want to call them. Now, as of September 1st, 2017, we don't have knife laws. The only law we have is, it varies from county to county. They may or may not enforce the 5.5-inch blade rule. But as a whole, you can literally walk down the street with a katana strapped to your back, and it's not illegal. So this knife is legal for us to carry. There is no state that specifically bans this knife, as is also claimed on the internet, where all things are correct, until you have somehow proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that they're not. This knife is not illegal anywhere. The manufacturing of more than one edge could make it illegal. So what I'm specifically saying is there is no law saying that the Jagdkommando is illegal. The law would state talking about more than one edge, more than one blade. So if this falls under that law, then yeah, it's going to be illegal. You can't carry it. Here in Texas, we no longer have that double-edged rule. We don't have any rules, so this is perfectly legal to carry. Another misunderstanding, and it goes back to the internet memes also, is that it has 3 razor-sharp edges. No, it doesn't. They are sharpened. They do have an edge, but it's not a very sharp edge. What is sharp, and you saw me nail myself earlier when I was trying to resheath it, this tip might be one of the sharpest things I've ever put in my hands. It is ridiculously sharp. So to do what you would assume that this is designed to do, which is to pierce, puncture, and thrust, this is going to do it. This is going to go through pretty much anything that won't deform steel. So yeah, obviously it's going to punch through paper and cardboard and flesh and everything else. Is it going to, survive getting jammed into a 55-gallon steel drum? Probably not. It's probably going to deform the tip and it's going to wreck the whole thing. Either that or your hand is going to slide up over this small hand guard. And honestly, you're not really going to cut yourself all that bad anyway. Now, some people might say, well, Jim, you're just a Microtech fanboy and you're just defending the product. Listen, I am a fan of Microtech. I am a fan of Tony Marfione Customs. I love them. I think they're fantastic. However, the praise that I have given them have not come without... Really? I almost dropped that right through my damn foot. Let's try that again. That's what happens when you have a round knife. All right. So the praise that I've given them has not come without a lot of skepticism and a lot of, well, not really skepticism, but critiquing. And go back on my channel. Some of my most famous videos are critiquing Tony's work. Now, it's not about that they don't make great quality. They do. Obviously, I own a lot of Microtechs, and I own a lot of Marfione Customs. And I spend a shit ton of money to get them. I get them because I like them. And I've never once had any serious issues with any knife. Little things here and there that really would not be uncommon to any other brand in that style of knife, yes. But that's it. So when I tell you this is the real deal, this is the real story, I'm not doing it to defend Microtech. Listen, Tony's a big boy. Actually, he's not. He's somewhat short. But Tony's a big boy. He can certainly take care of himself. I'm doing it because I'm so tired. Oh my God, I am so tired of seeing that bullshit thing being passed around Facebook and everywhere else on social media. It's not true. And I'm tired of hearing the internet knife know-it-alls wagging their fingers at people that are interested in buying one and just simply asking questions. And those internet experts saying, it's it's an impractical weapon because you'd have to sit there and unthread it for 4 days before you could get it out of the sheath. And, it's this and it's this and it's that. And it was designed to do this and designed. No, it wasn't. I am telling you directly from the horse's mouth why it was designed, why it was made. And you know what? It's extraordinarily popular. Tony never expected to make these as a standalone product. He also told me that. He says we were going to put it in the packaging with the firearms, and that was going to be the extent of it. He goes, then I started getting calls from people asking if they could just buy the knife. And he says, I was honestly taken aback. I was really surprised that somebody actually wanted one as a knife. So he says we started making them, and the rest is history. They sell out every single time they're made. There's a little hollow area in here that you can put matchsticks or whatever you want, old Polaroids of your ex-girlfriend or whatever. roll them up and stick them in there. But there's a little hollow area that you can do that. So it's become so popular on its own that they still make them. And every time they make a run, they sell out. Then they don't make them again for months and months and months. The market dries up, people get desperate, and they start paying ridiculous amounts of money for them. And so the mystique has grown from there. Listen, I understand the whole social media thing, people that aren't knife people that see it, they saw a picture of it, and I'm fairly certain this probably originated on Reddit, where the world is left to be mocked. And that's the way it is. That's why Reddit is so amazing, because you get to make fun of pretty much anything and everything, and nothing is off limits. So, you know, somebody comes across a picture of it one day and goes, holy crap, how hard would it be to sew up that wound? And the legend was born. And it's been passed around everywhere. But the problem is, as we pass things around, other people share them because they don't know that they're untrue, or that there is a little bit of cynicism or mockery involved, and they pass it around as gospel, and it turns into its own urban legend. This knife is the urban legend of the knife industry. And if you want to talk about the most dangerous knife that's currently being made, it's probably that one that has the CO2 cartridge in there. It's meant to stab and kill sharks, or to get a shark off of you. Because when you stab it in there, it shoots the CO2 in there and expands and does all kinds of... It's nasty. That's a nasty son of a bitch. I think it's called the Wasp knife. I don't know. Again, fact check me on that. I don't care. I'm sure somebody has heard of it too, and can put it in the description down below or in the comments down below. That's the knife that I wouldn't want to get hit with. That's for damn sure. This, I certainly wouldn't want to take a hit from it, but I'm fairly certain that my local doctor could very easily stitch me back up. So anyway, there it is, guys, trying to demystify the Mini Jagdkommando and the Jagdkommando in its full size. That's the story, and I'm sticking to it, and I'll see you guys on the next video.